Hello everybody, it's Rabbi Dov Chastain, and I am here to learn some more Hilchos Doggies with you. And today we're going to talk about Shabbos, and we're going to talk about the malacha of צידה, of trapping, of tzad. First, just to go over the Av Malacha, which is the principal malacha that you would be chayev midiraisa, obligated from the Torah for violating, has its origins in the construction of the Mishkan, just like all of the malachos. At the time of the construction of the Mishkan, they used to trap multicolored animals known as the tachash, whose hide they used to make leather for the coverings of the Mishkan, and they also trapped a sea creature called the chilazon, whose fluids were needed to produce the blue-green tchelis dye used to color the coverings of the Mishkan. And this malacha is very applicable to pet owners, because confining an animal to a room could already be an issue. A person who closes the door to a room or enclosure that contains an animal, thereby preventing the animal from leaving, has violated the malacha of trapping. That is, provided that the enclosure is a small one. The Aruch HaShulchan in Siman Shin Tes Zayin says צידה is different than all the other malachos, because usually with malachos you have to do an action to be chayev. But by grama, if you just cause something to happen, but don't do it actively, you're not usually chayev. But צידה is different. We have a Mishnah that tells us that if a deer entered into a house and a person went behind it and locked the door, they'd be chayev. And this is grama because he didn't actually cause the deer to enter into the house. The deer entered on its own and he just closed the door behind it. And Rashi explains why this is true, and that is because we don't really look at it as grama in this situation, because Rashi says, Zohi tzeidaso. This is the very way that you trap an animal. The act of closing the door behind the animal is the action that we're looking at here when we define the malacha of צידה. It's important to point out, to actually violate the biblical malacha, you have to meet certain criteria. 1, you have to trap a healthy, entirely free creature. 2, your objective must be to use the trapped creature for some purpose. 3, it must be a creature that is commonly trapped. And 4, you have to confine the creature to a small area. Even when those criteria are not met, though, you can still end up with an Isser D'Rabbanan, a rabbinic prohibition. Let's talk about some practical cases with a dog for a second. Let's say you wanted to take your dog and put it in a crate. The dog usually sleeps in a crate, and you want to put it in the crate, but you have to take it over there and put it inside and close the door in front of it. Should that be prohibited based on צידה? Let's say you want to take it and put its leash on it. You want to put a leash so you can control it. If by controlling it like that, are you violating the prohibition of צידה, of trapping an animal? The answer is that there's a Ramah in Siman Shin Tes Zayin, Sif Yud Beis, and in the Mishnah Berurah there in Sif Katan Nun Tes, that tells us that domesticated animals are very different. It's entirely permissible to trap domesticated animals that do not try to escape when one catches them, but instead become completely subdued. So if your dog were to listen to you and go straight into the crate and not put up any fight, you'd be fine. These animals are considered to be in a constant state of capture, and so are not included in the malacha of trapping at all. And included in this category are cows, sheep, and many domesticated house pets like doggies. Here, too, direct handling of the animals is forbidden if you have to pick the animal up because of the prohibition of muksa. One is permitted to chase the animal into a small space or corner them so that they cannot escape, or to just take them and lead them into the pen or the crate if they don't put up any type of fight. But you can't pick them up off the ground. If a domesticated animal has become rebellious, though, it's no longer considered to be in a constant state of capture, and therefore catching it on Shabbos would violate the biblical malacha of trapping. That's the Mishnah Berurah in Siman Shin Tes Zayin, Sif Katan Nun Tes. So what comes out from this is, even though there is a prohibition called צידה on Shabbos, that is not for domesticated animals, because domesticated animals are considered to be already trapped. However, if your animal is rebellious and is not going to listen to you and is going to put up a fight, then you could have a problem. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.